Today's guest is Curtis Grimes. He is an agent out of the Orlando area. Started from scratch, built a construction business, built that up over years, evolved into real estate, and he has got an incredible story of grit, but also lots of great tools of how he's running his business that you can benefit from. So stay tuned.
Welcome to Real Estate Riches, where Kathy Byrnes empowers realtors to achieve the success they've always dreamed of. Starting her career at 55, Kathy built a thriving business that offers the freedom of time and financial independence. And now she's sharing her journey to help others do the same. Whether new to the industry or looking to level up, this channel is your hub for proven strategies, inspiring stories, and the tools you need to grow your real estate business. Join Kathy each week to explore global opportunities, successful systems, and expert insights to take your career to the next level. Get comfortable, pick a video, and start learning. Your journey to success starts now.
Hey everybody, it's Kathy Byrnes here with Real Estate Riches, and I've got a great guy on here today, Curtis Grimes. He's out of Florida. I'm loving everything about how he's got his background all set up. I'm loving it. So anyway, we're going to get started and introduce you, Curtis. Welcome.
Well, thank you very much, Kathy, for having me here. It's really something that I had been thinking about doing as well, is doing a podcast. I mean, I get a lot of people that talk about my radio voice. So that's one of the things that I've been wanting to do. And then honestly, I've gotten about 4 or 5 lineups right now with other people doing podcasts that have requested me to come on. And I don't know what the great demand is for myself at the moment, but hey, I'll take it.
I'll take it, right? Well, you and I were just talking a minute ago. I am a huge believer in being visual, and podcasts make it visible. Everybody's listening to podcasts, and this one gets put on our YouTube channel as well. It's on all the podcast channels. So we get exposure that way. And agents are honestly hungry to figure out what to do in challenging markets. Some get it, just dive in and figure it out. Some are like, I don't even know how to even raise my hand. Some are paralyzed. Some are joining forces and doing little networking things together. And that's what we're going to kind of talk about. So tell me a little bit about you. It looks like you got in the business around 1999, not as a realtor, but more in construction and property management. Tell me about that piece.
Well, I'm originally from New York, grew up in New
Ah,
York, grew up in Queens, New York, kid born in the projects. And when I first got into the business, I was in elevators. And then after that, I started a small construction company. So, and then that small construction company I had a crew of guys, working with that. My wife was, it's so many things that went on during that time. So it's a kind of a lot to cover within that time. Matter of fact, I had a piece that was published in the Black Enterprise magazine that I wrote in, the 2006 edition of Black Enterprise. It was a little piece that I had written in, and they published it about keeping the American dream. So that's something that, really kind of told our story of how we got started buying and flipping properties as well.
oh,
So, our first home in 99 was a 4-family home in New Rochelle, New York. I lived in the basement and rented out I couldn't rent it out until I fixed it up because the house was a foreclosure when we got into it. So, I mean, we went on the first floor and the radiator for the first floor apartment was down in the basement. So, so it was falling through the floor. You could see it in
oh
the ceiling.
my.
So it was one of those type of jobs. And, I fixed that up. We worked, fixed it up, and rented out the top 3 floors and was able to help create a passive income from having that property. And like I said, basically I've lived rent free because my tenants paid my mortgage and I'm working my job. So I got to keep my earnings from that. And we ended up buying more property. So that's kind of how we got started within real estate.
Well, I'll tell you, I was just talking to a guy. I'm a classic car gal. Kind of see my little shadows over there. And I go to car shows all the time. So I live in
Okay.
Mooresville, North Carolina, and it's called Ray City because NASCAR's right here. But a lot of the guys that live in the area are classic car guys. So I was talking to the son of one of them, and he was telling me how he was going to start this new job and he wanted to get into investing. I said, well, I'm going to tell you something. The smartest move you can do is not buy an individual home. Do just what you did. Get at least two, get at least a duplex. If you can, a triplex, fourplex if you can. I said,
Hmm.
the rent will count towards your financing. There's a lot of different programs for doing it that way that you can get in without having huge amount of cash. And I said, do that because you can live mortgage free because other people are paying it. If one tenant goes out of your house and you only have a single family home, you're in trouble. Maybe you can't make up that extra payment. What if you can't get it rented for 2 or 3 months? I watched my mother do this and I saw she would literally move from one house to the other. She would put which one that came on the market and put them both her house she lived in and the other one for rent at the same time. So whichever one went first, that's where she would move if she had to. I mean, that's grit, which is what you showed, a lot of grit.
Oh yeah. Well, in this, especially in this market, you're gonna have to have some grit, or you're gonna have a whole lot of money in your bank account. One or the
Yeah.
other. Either you got a whole, you got a lot on reserve, or you're gonna have some grit.
Yeah.
So I like to have a little bit of both.
Yeah. Me too. Me too. I like residual income a lot. So you're still doing are you doing property management too?
I don't really do the property management as much. I mean, I manage a couple of properties pretty much for myself, my own properties,
Oh,
but not for clients or anything like that. We don't do any property management on that level. But what we do is try to help people get into with other management companies that work directly with that, because that's not something I work with directly all the time.
I
So
wouldn't want to ever, ever. It's a nightmare.
yeah,
Let somebody else have that.
yeah, dealing with tenants and landlords is not. I'd rather deal with crazy sellers and
Yeah.
people that don't know the value of their home and they think it's
Yeah.
worth more than what it is. I could deal with that a
Right.
little bit easier at times.
So true. So in Florida, tell me some of the challenges that you're dealing with. My first thought, and I'm going to ask you about this, is roofs.
Okay, well, the insurance companies have, made it kind of challenging when it comes to roofs. Matter of fact, I'm waiting. I've been battling with my own insurance company for my own roof on my house because
Hmm.
I had some hail damage a while back, and it takes a while. It's a process, but the regulatory, they are regulating it right now. The governor's kind of stepped in as well, and legislation has passed a couple of laws that, the insurance companies can't just bail on you or kind of just dismiss you from being on the policy. So they have, I know in North Carolina, because I have a property in North Carolina as well. And I have, what is it, NCJUI or something like that.
So you're saying like with your own, I was thinking, I didn't even know that they could not renew your policy. I was thinking more like if I'm like for example, I had a home, 1999 home, original roof. I knew that that was going to be a problem child, but I didn't know to the level of how it was going on. I asked one of my friends who owns a state farm agency. I said that the roof is 1999. Are we going to have problems getting that house insured? She goes, you're not going to get it insured because
Mhm.
that roof is too old. It's going to need to be replaced. Most insurers won't even take it on. And I was shooting for multiple offers on this thing. So that was my vision. And I thought if I get multiple offers and now we find out that you got to get a new roof and I haven't strategized this, we're going to be in trouble. So I went on ChatGPT because I am a fan. And I said,
Okay.
and I actually went on Grok and I said, do deep research on what's going on with roofs and insurance companies when it's a buyer seller situation versus a homeowner, because that was more important to me. Because I don't want to have a buyer there. Now we're 50% through the deal and we find out they can't get insurance on the house because, well, they
Mhm.
can get it on the house, but not on the roof. So it would be ridered out. And I'm like, that's not going to work. So,
Well,
um,
that's one of the first things that I do with when I have buyers. I try to make sure that they get their insurance set up. When we're doing right before they even, once they give their escrow and they got everything in escrow, and the appraisal is about to come in, I'm like, look, contact the insurance companies, make sure
Yeah.
you get all of this stuff done before you even try to pay for an appraisal. So,
Yes, that's smart. That's really smart. I've never done that. Dang it. I'm going to add that to my list. I work more with sellers, but that's a very valid point. I never saw anybody have problems with the insurance before, but now
mhm,
with the roof, and you're the worst state, we're the second worst, and Texas is the other state that had the
mhm.
biggest issues, where a lot of these insurance companies, like for North Carolina, it's 15 years. Even if you have the architectural shingles on your roof and they're in good shape, you could be not insured just because they don't want to take the risk. And those 3-tab shingles,
Oh
Erie
yeah,
won't,
yeah.
yeah, Erie won't even insure a single house. And that's what a lot of those tract homes are that are built,
Mhm,
like in those the less expensive homes in the communities. Well, people don't
mhm.
know that when they're buying the house.
Not at all.
Not at all, right? And so this is just another thing about being informed in real estate and why I like doing these podcasts where we talk
Mhm.
about this kind of stuff because I learned about it in CE that it might be a problem. It was not on my list to even deal with before I listed this house with my client, and I was in CE and I started doing some homework on before we had listed it, and I said, we got ourselves a problem here. Now, fortunately, she had the money to replace the roof. So boom, that was done. Now I have a selling point because now I got a brand new roof. That's a big, exciting thing I can say in my marketing, right? And it
Mhm.
and it was powerful. So it looked good. It was great. They did the garage as well, so that was all good. But I wondered how it was happening in Florida when you're working with resales. Probably because you're experienced with it, you're paying attention to it.
Absolutely. And what I also do, I use it as a negotiating piece as well. I mean, if the roof needs to be replaced, then we go, especially if I'm work because I work with a lot of buyers on my side. Usually my wife
Hmm.
works with me on the listing side. So she'll take the listings, even if it's like one of my listings or whatever, she'll take the listings and I usually work with the buyer. So
Well, it makes sense. When I had a business partner before, we each had our own strengths. Like she would handle all the paperwork and all the people. I didn't want to
mhm.
just after we were under contract, all those negotiate, you handle that. I don't want that piece. Just let me
Uh-huh.
go do the marketing, let me be the happy person, let me bring them all in, and then you handle the paperwork. And it worked out great for 7 years. But anyway, okay, that's good. So I wanted to talk to you about that. So, what are you doing with AI in your business?
Well, keeping up with my clients. I mean, just newsletters we send out every month. We send out a monthly newsletter. We generate the newsletter, of course, put it together. But of course, like any interaction with it, that's kind of through AI. We help create some of go to Chat GPT, give us like what's going on in the community, gives us a
Yeah,
list. Matter of fact, my wife and I, we just went to Chicago for her birthday and plan the whole itinerary. So it's a lot of different things that you can do with it. So it's a great tool. And honestly,
great
we're
tool.
still learning and it's still developing. It's learning us and we're learning it all at the same time.
Yeah. Well, I was just listening to somebody yesterday, Tony Robbins was talking about it, and it said, we are on the downside of where it's about to just go like that. And it's really true. I teach it to realtors who want to get started with ChatGPT, who need to understand all the variables, how to create their own custom GPT, how to use the
Mhm.
GPTs on the left-hand side tasks. I'll give you a tip. I trained it I just said, I'm going to create a task. I want you to create a task so that every day you tell me at 6 a.m. in the morning, that's when I get up, what's the latest update on this platform? And then I want you to talk to me like I'm a fifth grader and tell me how to use it. And I said, and then if there's a day where there's no upgrade, just say there's no upgrades today, Kathy, and it emails that to me every single morning. Every single
Oh
morning.
wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is great. Great.
Well, there's something like, just keeping up with market stats and things like that. Our association, I'm part of Aura. So they have something called the Monday morning quarterback, which gives
Mm.
us pretty much all the stats, lets us know, where price values are, how many homes were sold within the last week or whatever within the month. So it kind of keeps you up to speed on everything that's going on within the market. You know, the median home prices,
Right.
what's moving, what's not moving, what areas are more uh,
Likely to move instead of
move
sit
to
still.
the exactly the areas where people are moving to a little bit more. Exactly.
Hmm. Well, I follow so much on AI, my eyes just want to fall out sometimes. But one thing I just read, I follow this guy, Jonathan Mast, on Facebook, and his is AI for prompts for entrepreneurs. Well, those
Okay.
prompts are, bendable to your whatever field you're in. And but what
Mm-hmm.
I've learned from him are so many different ideas, how to think different and bring that into my business. And he creates GPTs, which you'll notice on the left-hand side, it'll say explore GPTs and you can search them all. And what that is, somebody's created a package of a prompt to do a specific role. And
Hmm.
I took a class with him and it was how to create GPTs. I had done one on my own for studying for real estate exams in any state in the country, and I did it as
Mm-hmm.
an experiment. Well, I didn't know how to do it when I started it. I asked ChatGPT to teach me how to do it, and
Hmm.
it was great. I had ideas on what I wanted it to do, and I wanted it to cover all the states, and I wanted to make sure that it knew the style of the tests in all the different states. And if you have the paid for version, you can upload different documents. Well, I said I wanted to be able to upload chapter one and have it be a study buddy with me. And so it would ask me questions in the same format that that particular state did them in. Was it multiple choice? Was it 3 multiple choice, 5 multiple choice, whatever the state was? And I said, do you know how to do this? And it said, yeah, I got this. I'm like, okay, then let's go for this. So then I said, okay, I'm gonna have you tell the student to upload chapter one. You're gonna give them a series of questions, let's say 15, and all the ones that they miss, I want you to remember, give it to them, but jumble up where the answers are. So like if last time it was the right answer was A, no, I want it maybe the right answer to be in the C position because I want them to really grab it. And then once they get all those right, now they can move on to chapter two and upload that one. So it forces them to really get that chapter by chapter. And you can see how many people have used it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I was surprised. I did ACE, your real estate exam. I did ACE because I wanted to be first in the search. And so the last time I looked, there were 50 people, and I was pretty excited because that was a year ago. My daughter and I just played with it to see if we could create it. Well,
Yeah. Well, I see you yourself have a lot of tools out there for people as well, for new realtors. I see, I kind of looked you up a little bit before we got, this is our first
sure.
time meeting. I was like, let me see who this lady is. And listen, I should have just went to Chat GPT and probably it would have told me, it gave me everything that I'm over here looking through Google and searching different things and looking at your website and reading your information and going from rookie to rock star and just I love it. So that's really good.
I've had a lot of people interview me on my story because I started really at almost 56, a month short, and I'll be 75 this month. So I'm very young at heart. But I was broke when I started. So the grit, like you're talking about, when you started, and I started in
Hmm.
2006 when it was starting to climb in North Carolina, and then she tanked. And my
Hmm.
daughter was supporting me. I lived a large lifestyle, so I gathered up some of those trinkets that I could sell over on eBay for 3 years. I did that off and on as I needed cash, gave up a wonderful watch that I treasured. And people got incredible deals all around the world because I sold all around the world. But
Hmm.
my mom was a realtor in the industry, but I didn't grow up with that. She did that at a later age. She started, I think, around 48 herself, maybe 49. But she became a rock star herself. When you've got necessity, you're going
Hmm.
to figure it out. And that's really one of the things I want to say to people today. You just have to have grit and figure it out. Go on ChatGPT and say, I need help. I need some support out here. Who could be some mentors? What are groups that I could get involved in where I don't have to spend a lot of money? Because there's so much upselling to real estate agents in this industry. It frustrates me because through the years, I have probably tried everything out there and wasted so much money when,
Oh yeah.
especially today with YouTube and podcasts, there's so much free information where you can
Hmm.
level up. And the truth is, you can just ask ChatGPT, I am lost. I need some ideas. Here's
Hmm.
where I live. Here's what I know. Here's my budget. Here's what, I maybe I'm a single mom and I've got kids and I got to try and work this out. I would ask all those questions. Help me design a lifestyle where I can still be a good mom. I'm paying attention to what my budget is, how much money I've got to bring in so I can make sales ethically without needing the sale. That's a big deal.
Hmm.
And
Well, you definitely have to educate yourself in this business,
oh
and you definitely have to invest in yourself. So I
yeah,
think that's one of, the biggest things is definitely investing in yourself and learning to speak the language. I
yeah,
think that, you know, it's with anything. If you go to school to become a doctor, or if you go to school to become I don't know, an auto mechanic, it doesn't make a difference because there's a language for every field that you go into, you know.
absolutely.
So it's
Absolutely.
about learning the language.
So I was just at a convention in Spain just a week and a half ago, which is very exciting. And there was a whole panel up there, and they were all into AI. And I'll tell you what, the players in this industry, they are all using AI on every level of their business. And I'm
Hmm.
just sitting there like a little kid in a candy store trying to capture it all because it was so inspiring. One of the women gets off, I knew her a little bit, and we're starting to talk, and she goes, I created a GPT, which is that little condensed instructor, to create my board of directors. And I said, what? And she goes, yeah, they don't even have to be alive. And she said, and I give all my goals to them. It tells me what I need to do for this week, like especially if I had a particular thing I needed to accomplish this week. And then accountability gives me insight on how to do that. So she picked different coaches. There were health coaches, there were relationship coaches, there were mindset coaches, there were real estate coaches, there was
Mm.
investment coaches. And I thought, I'm going to do this myself because I have a GPT that creates GPTs. So I asked ChatGPT, help me do this. And so it did. And I started with Jesus because I figured I better start with him. And I got Zig Ziglar in there. I've got the founder of the company that I'm with because I think he's brilliant. He's a tech maven. I got Richard Branson for fun and
Hmm.
lots of different people. And so I've created that GPT. And then I'm sitting there, it's probably 11 o'clock at night because that's when I'm inspired, I just can't stop. I said, wait a minute, I think this is marketable. I think I could sell this course where for an hour course, I teach not just realtors, but small business owners on how to have their board of directors to guide them. Because let's say
Hmm.
I've had businesses before, but I failed at several of them because I didn't understand the accounting piece of it. So the bookkeeping, the accounting, that a CPA person needs to be in there to guide you as well. Because realtors
Hmm.
they kind of fail at that. And this was one of them as far as getting my stuff together with my books in the beginning.
Well, this is a business. And that's what people
Yes,
have to know when they get into this. Your job isn't really just selling houses. It's not just about houses. It's about you got to be part psychologist. You got to understand people's emotions and feelings are wrapped up in this as well. So it's a lot of different things that you have to do. And you have to run it like it's a business. That I think that's
absolutely.
one of the key things.
That's really key. In the beginning, when you're not making much money, it's hard to pay those taxes. But the lesson learned was pay them anyway, figure it out, find a way, do something different, One thing I wanted to ask you about, how are you doing with your social media? Are you getting yourself out there or are you just so established you got all repeat business?
Well, I mean, we post daily and we use AI, within our company. We have a program called Command and we can set up and it's all automated.
Hmm.
So, we set it up for the week. We have a VA that helps us out with that type of stuff and gets it all set up so that it gets published or and goes on to social media. So we stay present. We're present on social media. So we're not hard to find, but we do have enough repeat business that, clients that know us, that people do business with who they know, like, and trust. and
Right.
have a good amount of people that know, like, and trust us. So I think that's one of the great things.
I think so too. I think that's why, for me, visibility on social media is actually really critical. I just got a call before we got on here, and this woman said, "Are you Kathy Byrnes and do you do real estate?" I go, "Yes." And I almost didn't answer the phone because I didn't recognize the number because it gets so many
Uh-huh.
spammers, right? And I didn't even say my name. I just said hello, which is also, I'm expecting you to be a spammer. And this woman gets on and asks that, and she goes, "Can you help me buy a home?" I go, "I guess so. Let's talk." I said, she goes, "Well, a woman from State Farm said you're the one I need to call." And I'm like, "Well, that works." I mean, how about that? That was a first for me because I don't even know who that State Farm woman might be. And, but I think that people are gonna, there's definitely looking on Google, and they'll be looking much more on AI as that evolves. They're not there yet where they're
Hmm.
doing so many searches there, but that's going to happen. Your Google page, your presence, you probably do Google reviews on your business page and things like that.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah.
important.
Yeah,
Um,
reviews are very important. I mean, we've had a couple of clients that called in. They seen our Instagram feed or our social media, or they looked on Zillow. My Zillow
mhm,
reviews are pretty good. So, and they seen us on there, and they were like, "Hey, we're looking to move from Utah to come
mhm.
to, Florida." So,
Yeah,
and vice versa. I have people
right.
that knew us, people that we knew in New York that are looking maybe not even to move to Florida. They're looking to move someplace else. Like in your matter of fact, I have somebody moving to Charlotte area. Uh, so and that's the other great thing about this business is being able to have really good referral partners. So
Yes.
and that's one of the other things that I definitely work on is building those referral based businesses so that, hey, I know Kathy in, I forgot the little town that you're in. I know
Cornelius.
I know it's up above near, what is it, Lake Norman? You're
Yeah,
up
I'm
near
on
Lake.
Lake Norman. I sell a lot of the waterfronts here.
Okay. All right. So if I know anybody that's going to Lake Norman, I'm gonna be like, hey, I know Kathy over there, and I'll be sending them your way.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Where are you at exactly? It says
I'm in
Orlando.
Orlando. I'm in Orlando. I'm out of the Lake Nona office in
Ah,
uh in the Orlando area. So, Medical City, the new VA is there. I mean, we're close to everything. That's one of the biggest sought after areas besides, Windermere, which is kind of has its own name, Windermere, Winter Park, the really prestigious areas. But we're close to all of it, close to, of course, the big mouse house, So
yeah.
so
That's
so we're
great.
there.
That's great.
And we got the new Universal Studio. I haven't been there yet, but I got to definitely go check that out. That the new park that they just opened up. So it's so
Hmm.
much going on here in Florida too. That's the other great thing. There's a lot of
Yeah.
great things going on here. I can't believe that I've been here, living here now almost 20 years.
Yeah. That's me too. I'm 20 years this year. 20 years this year in North Carolina. I came from Michigan, but
Oh, nice.
I was running from that snow.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Same here. Same here.
Yeah.
It was more of a life change. Wasn't really the snow, but the snow was definitely a determining factor. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Life changed for me too. That's exactly what it was. And it was great. People are afraid of change, but the truth is sometimes that new walk could just open up a life you just never even imagined. That's what it's done for me.
Yeah, change is inevitable. It's
Yes,
always happening.
yes. Well, listen, it's been great having you on here. I know you got lots of nuggets for us, and I appreciate all of that. We're going to put all your information in all the different spots that it's going to be all over the internet. So you're going to get more visibility, buddy.
Well, I appreciate it. Hey, every little bit helps, and hopefully, I can bring some visibility to you from my end as well. So,
Yes.
when people say, "Hey, I seen Curtis was on your show, and I want to move to the Lake Norman area of North Carolina," so I just don't want you to forget that the referral came from over here.
Of course. Of course. I won't forget, buddy. All right. Well, thanks so much. And I appreciate you very much. And I'm just want to say to everybody, pay attention to Curtis. He's your guy in Orlando, and he and his wife will help you out in every way that they can. So see you in the next one. So thanks for joining me on this episode of Real Estate Riches. Wasn't that great? I'm sure you got a nugget or two. I know I did. So if you liked it, please subscribe below, share it with everybody, make some comments. We really find that invaluable. And if you're thinking that you would love to talk about this a little bit more, let's schedule a business strategy call. I'll have the link below. And let's see if we can't mastermind together and see if we can empower each other. That would be great. So until next time, signing off. Hope to see you on the next one.